Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Home Lab. Today we are going to be talking about patch panels. So, patch panels down here, this is what's called a patch panel. This is a 24 port 1U patch panel. What does that mean? A unit is a standard measurement in rack space. So, obviously, because this rack here is custom made, I made it out of 2x4s. It is not standard, right? It's measured and it's cut to the standard. As you can see down here, my domain controller, the case for it, how it has these steel rack eyes on the side here. This is what you'd put a cage nut and cage bolt into, and so that way then you could securely hold this in the rack without it falling down. And you can either use rack studs, rack cage nuts, whatever's there. This switch here, for example, this is 1U. Same thing with my domain controller. Same thing with this patch panel here. So, with this being 1U, I can fit 2 of these here. I can do anything with any of the space. This is 3U somehow. I say somehow because I'm sure I didn't measure that. But anyways, with the patch panel, the main goal is to take a big bundle of wires in the back. As you can see, all these blue Ethernet cables are coming out and are all uplinks to various devices. You can see I got one going to my ESXi build, video coming soon, up to TrueNAS and whatnot. What a patch panel lets you do is take all those wires, and instead of coming around the side like these wires are here, it allows you to come into this hub here. It's almost like a USB hub. Come into the hub and allows you to plug a wire into a port. There's different types of patch panels. Different types. There's 2 main ones that I'm aware of. This one is one of the types. On the back of this, there are little almost castle looking things that you physically have to punch the wire down into with a tool like this. This is called a punch down tool. What this lets you do is it lets you punch the wire down, and then it will snip off the excess on the side. See that? It'll cut it right on off. It's kind of tedious to do, but it works extremely well. As you can see, this has been running since probably December, this patch panel. Another kind that they have is something called a keystone patch panel, where instead of like these here ports, these will come out. And so I'll have 8 or 6 of them here, 6 ports here. That is where you have the end of this wire, the wire you want to connect, is terminated, meaning that it has a RJ45 connector on the back side of it. Next, with the patch panel, we have a uplink, or as I call it, an uplink. You have your back uplink and your forward uplinks. So your forward uplinks are what's going to connect to the switch. Ideally, you want this 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, meaning that wire 1 here is connected to wire 1 on the switch. As you can see, it is there. And that goes for all the ports here. I do it all the time when I'm moving things around. I have to put port 22 on port 5. It happens. We're not in a big data center environment here. We can kind of work with what we got here. So with patch panels also, another thing you want to be wary of is standards. So I will get into standards in another video, but standards in the Ethernet world there's 2 of them. I don't remember the names. I'll put them up on the screen. But essentially, one will either, because the wire is a stranded pair, right? Meaning that there's no, it's a bunch of wires inside of a wire. It's like this. Obviously, this is a cutoff end, but it gets the point across. So inside, you have a green and white green combination. You have a brown and white brown combination there, if I can get them apart. White and white brown combination there. Blue and white blue. And orange and white orange. So that is called a twisted pair. Obviously, these would be twisted together, but this is a cutoff. So with this, you can make 2 different standards. However, Ethernet will work as long as what's on both sides matches. So I can go, for example, if I wanted to not follow the standard, I could go wire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on the other side, as long as they match 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sounds good. It will work. However, in the Ethernet world, you want to keep a standard because it prevents people from having to look back constantly and see what you did. It's one of the many things in the IT world that makes other people's lives easier, which is always what you want. You never want to have a tech that gets mad at you or yourself that gets mad at yourself. Never want that. This is supposed to be a fun hobby. You're supposed to spend a lot of money, but either way, follow the standards. Now, the standards. Again, I don't remember their names, so I'll put them up on screen. But basically, they're just two combinations. Both work. Each have their own purposes. I'll also put those up on the screen. But those are standards to always follow. I use the one that starts with white, orange, orange, and then continues on from there. I will make a whole video on how to do Ethernet. It's really simple. You need a couple of basic tools, and that will be about it. I think that's going to be it for this video. This is, just about patch panels. I think next video we're going to be doing some networking, talking about DHCP and whatnot. We'll talk about DNS. We'll talk about these two gentlemen down here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.